All right. Hello. I want to welcome you to our mini version of the Spring Clean workshop. I'm Dr. Natalie here with Minnetonka Family Chiropractic, and I'm super excited that you are joining us for this mini version of the Spring Clean workshop. Every year when the snow starts to melt, the weather starts to get warm, and springtime is here. I'm sure, like many of you, get this burst of energy to pack up all the winter clothes, get rid of, pack up all the winter stuff, clean out the closets, and do a bunch of spring cleaning around our house. Again, I'm sure many of you are in that same boat right now. But today, I actually want to teach you the importance of doing that for your body as well. The whole purpose of this workshop is to really help you identify just the prevalent sources of toxins in your environment, in your life, that are getting into your body, affecting the function of your cells, ultimately affecting your health. So today I really want to go through some of the top sources of toxins that are the most harmful that you're being exposed to daily, and help you find ways to be able to minimize your exposure to those things. And more importantly, help you get your body detoxifying from the onslaught of toxins that you've likely been exposed to for years. So this is going to be a great workshop. You're going to walk away with a lot of action steps that you can take. And in this realm of toxicity, you're going to quickly find it is very easy to get overwhelmed. I know when I first started diving into this topic and learning more about it, it's overwhelming when you start to look around and recognize, all of the sources of toxins that you're being exposed to. So I want to remind you that health is a journey, and I want you to take, even if it's a couple things away from this workshop that you're going to change, that you're going to eliminate from your life, and really replace with healthier, better products that are going to reduce your exposure over time. And, when I look back over the course of the years, this is still a journey for me. Every single year, it's okay, I'm going to change this out. All right, we're going to start filtering our water. Okay, I'm going to start buying this product instead of this one. And I can look back over the years and actually, look at the amount of toxins that we're now no longer exposed to every single day, every single year, as a result of some of those changes. So wherever you're at, whether you're already far along that path or this is a brand new journey for you, I've got lots of tips and things that you're going to take away from this workshop to really get you moving in the right direction. So ultimately, the reason that we do this, the whole reason that we exist in our clinic, and really our mission and our vision, is to help people like yourself live up to your full potential through good health. And, I often just envision this community, envision this world, imagine a world where people were waking up full of energy, vibrant, excited to take on the day, not having to rely on pharmaceutical medications to make it through the day or relying on caffeine for artificial energy to just get to the end of the day. Imagine a world where people were growing old with health and vitality, really living the life of their dreams. And that's really our vision. That's our mission for our community and, Max Living across the country and across the world. And that's the importance of all 5 essentials. Many of you that are practice members, number one, it's removing the interference to how your body's functioning and designed to function through improving the health of your spine and your nervous system with chiropractic adjustments. It's nutrition, giving your body the proper nutrients to function well. It's exercise, like we're designed to move, having a healthy mindset, decreasing stress, and getting good rest. And then there's this area of toxicity. When most people think about getting healthy, I would say most people think about eating better and exercising more. That's the most common focus that people take. And yes, those things are important, but there's this whole area of toxicity and detox that is often overlooked. And it's vastly affecting your long-term health, likely without you even being aware of it. So that's really what tonight is about. Something that's actually very startling to consider is the average person in America could be exposed to over 2.1 million toxins every single day. Not just over the course of a year, but that is every single day. And when I first found that stat, that even blew me away. But when you start to hear what I'm going to go through tonight, you're going to go, oh, wow, that's potentially totally true for almost every person living today. So just to give you an idea, there's over 70,000 chemicals that are used commercially. There's 3,000 chemicals that are allowed to be added to our food supply. There's another 10,000 plus chemicals that are actually used in food processing, preserving, and storage. And what's interesting, the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, estimates that inside our homes are now anywhere up to like 100 times more toxic than even the outdoor air. So let's break some of these things down and really walk into, man, what's happening? What are we being exposed to? How's this affecting our health? So some of the most, common toxins that you're going to be exposed to, you're going to find in your everyday life, directly in your food supply, the water that we drink, the air that we breathe, the environment that we live in, the personal care products and the cleaning products that we're using on our bodies and in our homes on a daily basis, even what we cook our food in, what we store our food in. There are chemicals that are lurking in these areas that you are being exposed to, that are getting into your body and are affecting the health and function of your cells. So, when chemicals and carcinogens get into your body, they can damage your cells. They can damage your organs. They can affect the function of the enzymes and the vitamins and minerals in your body. They can disrupt this. They can actually directly impact your DNA. They can disrupt and mimic hormones. And because of all of this, chemicals in our environment and in our daily lives are directly linked to some of the most prevalent diseases that we're seeing skyrocket in our culture right now. Cancer is one of those. Cancer, all of the research shows that only 5 to 10% of cancer is actually a result and due to purely your genes. So that means anywhere from 90 to 95% of cancers are directly a result of our lifestyle and environmental factors that we're being exposed to. And, this even goes for kids. Like, you look at, it's heartbreaking, but you look at the health of our children today is far worse than it's ever been. You look at the 4A's: allergies, autism, asthma, ADD, even mental health, depression, which directly, correlates to hormonal imbalances within our children. There was actually a research study that tested the fetal cord blood of brand new babies. And today I'm going to talk a bit about toxic bioaccumulation. So whatever a mother is exposed to, those chemicals can be built up in her body and ultimately get passed to her child. So they found over 275 different chemicals in the fetal cord blood of brand new babies. So here we have this brand new baby that's being born already with 275 different chemicals potentially circulating through its body. And then you take that baby and you put it into the environment that we're living in today, and you can quickly see how this exposure to chemicals is affecting the function of our cells, the function of our body, and ultimately leading to earlier disease processes developing. So heavy metals specifically are something that really get stored up in your body every time you're exposed. They're a lot harder for your body to detoxify. So specific heavy metal exposure. A lot of these chemical exposures and chemical buildup. Some of the most common things that they'll quickly lead to are simple things, even like headaches or mood swings, hormonal imbalances, neurological issues. Autism, is a neurological issue that a lot of heavy metals and chemicals can overwhelm the nervous system and neurologically end up affecting a child or a person. Brain fog, memory loss in adults. Even weight loss resistance is a big warning sign of toxicity within the body. So when you think about your body, think about it like a bucket. right? So you have this bucket. We start, pouring, things into that bucket. Over your lifetime, potentially from when you were born to what your mother was exposed to throughout your life, your body's like a bucket, and chemicals and toxins and things keep getting in and poured into that bucket. And we have this amazing system in our body. You have a liver, you have kidneys. Like, our bodies are designed. We were designed to come into contact with things, right? That's why we have a liver and kidneys, to help flush out these toxins and detoxify our body. But in this day and age, most people are bombarded by toxins. Like I said earlier, potentially 2.1 million chemicals every single day that you're being exposed to. That bucket quickly starts to fill up. And if your body isn't continuing to be efficient at detoxifying, it starts to build up, and that bucket starts to overflow. Your liver become sluggish. Your body starts to run out of antioxidants to heal from the onslaught of chemicals. And when that bucket starts to overflow, that's when we'll start to see the symptoms arise. And, unfortunately, this is why we teach in our clinic. If you weren't there, maybe you aren't experiencing those symptoms yet. That's the importance. That's true prevention, is recognizing, okay, what could potentially be getting poured into my bucket, and how can I minimize my exposure, but also make sure my body has what it needs to be detoxifying from these things, so that your bucket never reaches the brim and overflows into symptoms. That's true prevention. That's the importance of taking action steps in all 5 essential areas to protect your body, to give it what it needs to function at its best for as long as possible. And that's really when we look at, moving towards true long-term health. So today, you're going to hear me speak a lot about exiting the conventional. I'm going to talk a lot about exiting the conventional. And by the time I expose the different toxicants that you're exposed to, where they're located, how much you're exposed to the harmful chemicals, you're going to see that living conventionally. You'll see why so many people nowadays are choosing to exit the conventional. They're making better, more natural choices in the products that they buy and the way that they live, more holistically. And again, I want to remind you, health is a journey. So again, maybe tonight, your goal is to just pick 1 or 2 things that, okay, that's what I'm going to change this next month or this next year. And a lot of what I'm going to go through, a lot of the products that I'm going to point out, when I first started this journey myself, it was as simple as, okay, when this cleaning product, or when this shampoo runs out, instead of going back to the store and buying the same brand that has all of the chemicals that I now understand are harming me, it is as simple as buying a different brand, buying a different product, or making your own. And we'll give you resources for that. That then all of a sudden, okay, now I use a better shampoo, and then conditioner, and then body wash, and then, what I clean our home with, what I wash our clothes with, what I wash our dishes with. You slowly start to make these changes. And like I said, that really accumulates over the next year. You will find that, wow, you're being exposed to a lot less chemicals every single day. So let's dive right in. I want to look at, the top toxins, some of the most harmful sources of toxins, and the most common ones that you're being exposed to. So I've got to start with cleaners. Right now, in the current world that we live in, over the course of the last year, because of COVID, I call it COVID cleaning, has really forced our culture to become this hyper germophobic. Everything has to be sanitized and clean. We're cleaning more than we've ever done before, with the idea of, killing germs and sanitizing things that you don't get exposed. And you've likely tuned into our immunity workshops in the past. If you haven't, you really need to go back and watch those to really understand that it's not just about the exposure to a germ. It's more about the health of the host and your ability to fight it off. So watching some of our immune system and immune boosting talks in our arsenal of past workshops can really help you bring to ease that, this whole idea of everything has to be sanitized and clean is very flawed. In fact, recently the CDC just put out themselves that, we're interested in what's the fallout going to be from sanitizing everything and really, all these cleaners and sanitizers everywhere. How is that going to affect our microbiome? How is that going to affect our long-term health? Because we're ultimately designed to be exposed to germs and bacteria and viruses that actually helps to build up our immune system. So Um, I laugh. You can't go to the grocery store. You have to pick a certain cart that's, been sanitized. If you're standing in the self checkout line, you can't even check out until somebody comes and wipes all these cleaners over the credit card machine and everything. And, we're living in this world of sanitation. So these are chemicals, right? The cleaners have chemicals, and the conventional cleaners are loaded with a variety of different toxins. Some of the big hitter toxins that you'll find in typical cleaners are, bear with me with some of these words, perchloroethylene, perc they call it, is how it's labeled: formaldehyde, chlorine, ammonia, SLS, sodium lauryl sulfate. That's a degreasing agent, disodium EDTA. What's really interesting, it's a penetration enhancer. There's more, if you can look at what you're cleaning your home or your surfaces in your house with, and if on the back of the bottle it says, if ingested, call poison control, right? We obviously know that there's chemicals in there that are very damaging to our health. In fact, a lot of different cleaners, they don't even have to list the chemicals that are actually inside of there, or at least all of them. A lot of them will list the active ingredient, but it's sometimes hard to find what's actually in this product that you are wiping your countertops with, that then you're in turn preparing your food on, or resting your hands on, or the even bigger, you're spraying these chemicals in your home. That's how they're delousing the airplanes right now, cleaning schools on a daily basis. It's first and foremost the surface that then your child is resting their hands and putting their skin on all day long. But even more so, when you spray something, the aerosols of those chemicals get into the air that you breathe. If you can smell the cleaner that you're using, when you use Windex on your windows and you can smell it, that means that those chemicals are getting into your lungs, and that's coming into direct contact with your blood and getting circulated throughout your body. So again, if you drink the chemical, obviously that would be very harmful, which is why you would have to call poison control. But we are being exposed to these things, again, even more so over this last year than ever before. And we, a certain amount of these chemicals are getting into our bloodstream, are getting into our bodies. And they know that because they can test our urine and find sources of all of these chemicals throughout. So many of these, especially the cleaning products, research shows that they can be directly linked to cancer, hormone imbalances. A lot of the chemicals, they mimic hormones in your body. They damage your liver. They lead to respiratory issues, things like allergies. They can contribute to that, as well as affecting your digestive system. The list goes on and on. But regardless, when you think about if a chemical gets in and it causes damage to a cell, if that damaged cell, if it affects its DNA, if that cell starts replicating, if you have a damaged cell in your body that starts to replicate, that is the definition of cancer. So we really want to work to minimizing these things in our environment. So something that's going to be your best friend, if you have a pen, jot this down. This is a note that you want to take, is going to ewg.org. It stands for the Environmental Working Group. This is going to be your best friend when it comes to minimizing toxins in your life. The Environmental Working Group has done an amazing job at looking at all the different products that are available on the market today, or at least most of them. And it looks at the ingredients in each of these cleaning products, personal care products, and consumer products that you can buy. And it rates them on a scale, which is amazing. So you can see right up here, for example, Lysol, which is a very common thing that's flying off the shelves right now with disinfecting. It ranks the letter D. So A would be good. That's green. And the Environmental Working Group actually puts their stamp on certain products that they have approved to be okay for your health. So it basically breaks down the different ingredients and it ranks them, and you can actually look up, it's tough to see here, but so, Lysol, it does have cancer risk. It has skin and allergy, immune system. It affects that. It affects, there's different toxic chemicals that are used inside there. So what's cool is you can actually go to ewg.org to consumer products, and you can actually type in, what products are you using in your home, and it will rank it for you to let you know know, okay, is this a bad one, or is this one not so bad, or is it good? And so, I encourage you all to look up some of the most common products that you're using in your home right now and see where they rank, see what health risks they pose, and work to replace them. I already talked about, Windex, but, Windex or whatever the brand it is, we're spraying these things, and you can search that and see the harmful effects that it can have. Fragrance specifically has, most fragrances, they're synthetically made. That's something that can really mimic hormones in your body. Anything that's a bright color, we're going to talk more about that. Propylene glycol. These are chemicals, again, that you're breathing in. And this is why our indoor homes are more toxic than the outdoor air, because we're spraying all these cleaners, and even, we're doing, maybe you have candles burning, that anytime you can smell something, you want to know, man, is that an artificial synthetic fragrance that I'm breathing in? Because it's affecting your hormones, it's affecting your health. So moving on, disinfectants, another thing that is, going crazy right now is, hand sanitizer. There's alcohol, there's, colorings in a lot of them. Again, propylene glycol and other chemicals that you'll find. So, washing your hands with a healthy soap vigorously for 20 seconds is far better for your health than putting some of those hand sanitizers on as well. So exit conventional. At our Patient Appreciation Day on next Wednesday, I believe it's the 21st of April. It's a Wednesday afternoon. We're having a Patient Appreciation Day, and we will have sources of, what are the top toxins to be aware of that you should be, checking your products for. We're also going to have a list of how you can make a lot of these cleaners at home. There's some very simple ingredients that are non-toxic that are just as effective at cleaning your floors and cleaning your countertops that you will be able to check out at our Patient Appreciation Day. But you can scan that code that takes you right to the EWG website that will help you identify some of the cleaners that you maybe need to get out of your home. I use Norwex. This has been my best friend. When I learned this stuff, I literally took the whole box of cleaners, the Pledge, the Lysol, the Windex, whatever else we had in our home. I got rid of it. And I literally started with 2 Norwex cloths, the window cloth and the antibacterial cloth. And that is what I clean my home with. So Norwex will be at our Patient Appreciation Day, so you can learn more about it. But it is, they're microfiber rags that actually have molecular silver woven into them. And molecular silver is very antibacterial, it's antiviral. And some of the demonstrations that they do are unbelievable. Literally, the window cloth works better than any other window cleaner I've ever used. And you literally just have to get it wet. You just get it wet. So if you haven't heard about that, make sure to come and check that out at our Patient Appreciation Day, as it's a great alternative to a lot of the household cleaners that you might be currently using. So cosmetics, this is another big one. The average woman puts, 200 and some chemicals on her body in the first 10 minutes of her day. When I first heard that, I was like, holy cow. And this goes for men, not just women. But when you think about the shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash, the, shaving cream, the toothpaste, the deodorant, the body lotion, the makeup, the facial cleansers, the perfume, everything that we're using. Actually, in the report of heavy metal hazard, there was a report that the Environmental Defense tested 49 different face makeup items. And believe it or not, cosmetics are very well known to have traces of heavy metals in them. So they tested 49 different products of, foundations, eyeliners, mascara. And their testing revealed that there was, of those products tested, 96% contained lead, 90% contained beryllium, 61% contained thallium, 50% cadmium, and even arsenic were found in these cosmetic products. Now, you might be sitting there going like, well, how is that even allowed? Like, why do they allow heavy metals to be in these products? And whether it's your food, your cleaning supplies, whether it's your makeup and personal care products, basically how these things can get passed through is if they're in small enough amounts that it can pass the testing, if there is even testing for that specific chemical. And so the idea is that, well, you can, say a small amount is safe, right? If we expose a mouse to this small amount, it has no effect. So it's safe for humans. Now, the concern with that is, you're not just putting on eyeliner, you're putting on foundation, you're putting on mascara, you're putting on body lotion over your entire body. It's the toxic bioaccumulation of these things that builds up over time and starts to fill up your bucket. So again, it can be as simple as buying a different brand. So EWG has what's called the cosmetic database. It's called the Skin Deep. I love this. You can type in whatever brands you're using and it will rank it on a scale of 1 to 10. So you'll notice number 1 and number 2 are in the green zone. So before I ever buy any product, I'm always looking. You can actually get the Skin Deep app on your phone, which is super handy. So you're at the grocery store, you're at the store buying makeup, and you can type it in and it'll rank it for you right there. I never buy anything that's beyond a 2. I'm always buying the green zone, the 0 to 2, because then the chemical exposure is very low. So make sure to check those out. For example, you're just throwing out an example of, you can type in herbal essences. And I put this on here because I recently, when we were traveling, I forgot to bring my own toiletries with. So I had to use like hotel shampoo. And what's so funny about that is I don't often use, conventional shampoos or conditioners, and they have chemicals inside there, right? Because we're trained that if you smell good, that you're clean. And you use this body wash. It's so funny. It was like this cucumber melon body wash that literally like 4 hours after I was out of the shower, I like smelled my skin and it still smelled like cucumber melon, right? So I was like, oh, dang it. That's a warning sign. Like if you can still smell the remnants of your body wash or your shampoo, your conditioner, there's something called penetration enhancers. They're chemicals like EDTA that are penetration enhancers. They basically open up the pores of your skin so the product can get further in. And that is why your skin after 6 hours post shower will still smell like your body wash. Now, we've been trained to think that's fresh, that's clean. Yet, we aren't trained to think, oh, crap, there's chemicals that are now locked in my skin because of that are penetrating deeper into my body, affecting me more because of that. So rank those things, looking at the numbers. What's cool about it, it will actually break down the different chemicals and the potential effects that they can have on your health. Some big ones that you want to look for when you are looking at your personal care product: ingredients. Just like food, you want to read the ingredients of your products. So I want to know what's actually in there. A lot of the chemicals, you can't even pronounce them. I've always taught people, if you can't read it, don't eat it. If you can't read it, don't put it on your body. But some of the big ones that you want to watch out for that are known carcinogens that we know affect your hormones, affect your health: parabens, sulfates, EDTA, synthetic fragrances is a big one. Aluminum, you're going to find that in your deodorant. Like we know that is linked to breast cancer and hormonal cancers in the body. So changing out your deodorant, propylene glycol, and sodium lauryl sulfate. So anything that bubbles, your body wash, your toothpaste, your shampoo, you're going to find sodium lauryl sulfate in it. Again, those are some of the big hitters that you want to be avoiding. So exit conventional. One of the best ways is, like I said, use that scan code, go to the cosmetic database, and they'll list off different healthy brands or search the ones that you currently have. And the way I recommend doing this, so you don't feel overwhelmed and that you have to, some people go cold turkey and change out everything, which is amazing. If you want to do it slowly over time, then, I suggest typing in all the different brands of products that you're using, and the ones that score the highest, that are the most dangerous, those are the ones that you want to replace first. Some healthier brands. Again, this is why I'm super excited for our Patient Appreciation Day, as we're bringing in different sources of cosmetics and cleaning products and things, different brands that you can chat with them and learn more about, healthier products, and actually, pick up some healthier products at that Patient Appreciation Day. But some of the top ones that I really like, I love 100% Pure. It's 100% pure. I use a lot of their body products. I use a lot of their makeup. Crunchy is a brand that we are actually going to have at the Patient Appreciation Day. So I'm super excited for you to learn more about that. The Honest Company, I do use a lot of their products for our kids, like body wash and shampoo and lotion. Spry is another really good brand. We really like their toothpaste or their mouthwash. Is some other quick brands to share some of our favorites. So moving on, what you actually cook your food with. You're heating food, you're cooking it. And many of you, I'm sure, have heard of the dangers of Teflon, polytetrafluoroethylene, PTFE. It's something that you want to be avoiding. So any type of non-stick cookware, you know, here's what I've learned. Anytime something's more convenient, it's usually not better for your health, unfortunately. So this is something, when you're heating up your food, a lot of the chemicals that make up that nonstick surface can leach into your food that then you're consuming. So, even they've found some of the disposable face masks can have traces of PTFE in there. So, try to move away from the disposable ones and actually get like an organic cloth mask if you're able to do that. But wanted to make sure that you guys are aware that, disposable face masks, there's plasticizers in there. We're going to talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But what you're cooking your food with is something to really be aware of. And this can be a tough change for some people. There are a lot of better sources out there now of, healthier cooking products. A couple to name a few, like stainless steel is a great one to switch to. Cast iron, the old cast iron. I've got one of those huge, heavy pans. What's amazing now is they're actually making cast iron a lot more lightweight. So they're easier to clean and easier to maneuver. Those are the two. We use cast iron in our house. We also use La Creuset, ceramic cookware and cast iron from there as well. But something to keep your eye out for a good sale on some stainless steel pans, but really get rid of the non-stick stuff. It is simply not worth it to your health. Those specific chemicals have been directly correlated to cancer as well. So you think about something that you're cooking with every day. That's a big one, that is simple. You buy a different product and you're set. You're no longer being exposed to those chemicals. So that also brings us to microplastics. What are we storing our food in? What are we cooking our food in? So something about plastic, again, it's convenient. It's lighter. It's easier to carry your lunch and to work in plastic compared to glass. But microplastics, get this. Microplastics can be found in many storage containers, even surgical masks. There's microplastics that make those up, that create those. And one literature review calculated that the amount of plastic the average person consumes, research estimated the average person drinks 1,769 different plastic particles from tap water every day. In the US, it was 94% of all tap water samples contained plastic fibers. 82% of samples in India did, and 72% of samples in Europe did. So plasticizers, you're like, what do you mean I'm drinking plastic? So plasticizers, they're colorless, odorless chemicals composed mostly of phthalates or something like BPA. That's what BPA is. It's a plasticizer. So these substances are added to plastics to increase their flexibility, their transparency, their durability, their longevity, but they're chemicals. So BPA, we all know, the plastic water bottles, the BPA, we need to steer away from that. I looked back at my Nalgene water bottle from college. And if you look at the bottom, if you look at the recycling stamp, there'll be a number inside there. 3 and 7 are the two numbers that you really, really, really want to avoid. I recommend avoiding all plastics in general because we now know that BPA is linked to cancer. So in my mind, anything else that they're using that has the same effect as BPA is likely going to have the same result. So we now know phthalates are very, damaging to our health as well. In fact, the American Academy of Pediatrics has published an article stating that infants exposed to infant care products, especially like their baby shampoos, their lotion, their baby powder, they showed increased levels of phthalate metabolites in their urine. So these plasticizers, phthalates, parabens, the BPA, these things can be found in a whole variety of different plastic products. So I'm really trying to move away from plastic. How do you exit conventional when it comes to this? Go out. I love the Pyrex glassware. They've got great clip-on tops. Something to be aware of is you never want to store warm or hot food in a plastic container. That heats it up and that can leach more of the chemicals from it. Really avoiding drinking out of plastic water bottles. So, buying a stainless steel or a glass water bottle. Life Factory has there's a lot of great brands nowadays out there. I'm trying to think of a couple off the top of my head, but you see them everywhere. So just, buy a stainless steel or a glass water bottle. and refill it yourself. Even the airport, love it. They have the filtered water refilling stations now, so you don't have to even buy plastic water bottles when you travel, which is great. So, avoiding plastic wrap. You can buy some of the silicone covers to cover your food versus, putting plastic wrap over it, especially if it's still warm. If you can see it condensate onto the plastic wrap, like it's leaching and dripping, some of those plasticizers right back into your food. So switching to glass, using reusable grocery bags, anything plastic, you want to really reduce your exposure. So every time you go to Target or every time you go to a grocery store, you're using the plastic bags, start bringing your reusable grocery bags. That'll decrease your, hands touching and being exposed to some of these things. The water bottle switching, really making some good headway, good changes when it comes to what you store your food in. Another thing that comes to mind is the steamer bags, the frozen vegetables or frozen whatever that they say you can just put right in your microwave and cook it inside the bag. Now they're labeling those, well, it's BPA free. Again, in my mind, it never makes sense to heat plastic, especially in a microwave, especially when it's surrounding your food. So take it out of the bag, cook it in your stainless steel pot on top of the stove. I know it takes a little bit more time, but it is worth it for your health long term. Water. So that brings us to water. This might be actually the most important one to be aware of, because our body is composed of like 70% of water. And this is something that we're putting in our bodies every single day. So on average, you're exposed to 25 gallons of toxic contaminated water. Your skin is said to repel, so when you take a shower or take a bath, your skin is said to repel about 75% of all the chemicals and toxins in that water. So the question is, what's happening to the other 25%? Your body is absorbing some of those toxins and chemicals that are in your water when you take a shower. So if you think about it, if you take a 15-minute shower, studies show that's equivalent to drinking 8 glasses of harmful water, because you are, some of those chemicals are actually leaching into your skin. And if you're taking a hot shower, those chemicals like the chloroform, that's creating VOCs that you're actually breathing in the shower as well. So when we talk about water, especially tap water, from drinking it, brushing our teeth, washing our hands, taking showers, the EPA found that tap water contains over 84,000 chemicals. Some of those include pesticides, chlorine, VOCs, and more. What's crazy, I'll share in a minute. They're even finding traces of pharmaceuticals. 70% of Americans are on a pharmaceutical medication. Their body metabolizes that obviously it exits their body, and it makes it back into our water table. And this is something that a lot of cities weren't even aware of, weren't even thinking to filter for. Like, they're not even filtering. So actually recently, a couple of years back now, they tested 11 different lakes and rivers and streams in Minnesota, in the area. And what they found was crazy. Actually, the top sources of things they found in there were pharmaceuticals, amongst many other chemicals, but specifically diabetic medications, different pharmaceuticals, traces of antidepressants and things like that. So even if you're not taking a medication yourself, if you're drinking unfiltered tap water, you're actually being exposed to a lot of those pharmaceuticals and different chemicals that make them up. So the importance of water in your body, like I said, your body is composed 70% of water. So that's why drinking clean filtered water is super vital to your health. If you're dumping, and I always think about a fish tank, we have a fish tank and it's super hard to keep them clean. They're very finicky things. We've had to go through a couple different fish with the kids, but I always think about, imagine, if you dumped a can of Mountain Dew into a fish tank. Even actually, you can't just use tap water to put in a fish tank. It has to be distilled water to put in a fish tank. Otherwise, the fish die. It affects the pH and the fish die, right? So if that's happening it again just reinforces the idea of like, okay, think of what we're bathing ourselves in every single day. If we're drinking unfiltered tap water, we are exposing ourselves to a whole bunch of chemicals that does have an effect on our body. So the importance of water, it helps to form saliva. It aids in your digestion. It keeps your mucosal membranes moist. So your throat, your mouth, your nose. It's a shock absorber for your brain, your spinal cord. It helps to regulate your body temperature by sweating. It's needed by your brain to manufacture hormones and different neurotransmitters. It helps, there's water in your blood, right? It helps to deliver oxygen and nutrients to your cells. It is vital for your existence. So being exposed, drinking and refueling your body with healthy filtered water is super important. Tap water, some of the big things that we know that it contains plasticizers, like I said, chlorine, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals. You will find in water supplies, even pesticides. So you think of all the pesticides, herbicides, fungicides that are sprayed, they make it back into our water table, which then ends up in our drinking water, as well as volatile organic compounds, which is what VOCs are. So really, action step, how do you exit conventional? At least when you're at home, it can be as simple as buying an under the sink water filtration system. You can find them at Costco. I listed a few brands here that even if you just started to filter your drinking water, that's a huge step in the right direction. I don't recommend buying bottled water, right? Because it's been stored. You have no idea where it's traveled from. It could have been heated and sat in, hot weather on a truck somewhere. I don't recommend buying bottled water. There are different filtration systems like at Cub Foods. You can go and actually fill up filtered water. So that's a better option. But ultimately, it's like $150 to get it under the sink water filtration system, at least for your drinking water. So start there. In our home, like if you do own a home that you're going to be in for a while, it is totally worth getting someone to come in and put in a whole house filtration system. That's what we've done. We use the big blue filter. So our whole house, our shower, every water in our home is filtered. Another brand is Aquasana, is another good one that you can check out. For our kids, like if your kids are going to school, like we fill up their water bottles in the morning with the filter water from home. But if you're refilling your water when you're traveling or when you're at work, you should check out Life Straw. It's basically a water bottle that has an amazing filtration system right in it. So you can refill the water bottle and you're drinking filtered water then throughout the day. That is super great for on the go if you're traveling, or like I said, if you're refilling your water bottle at work and you're being exposed to unfiltered water. So it's funny, I've got this big jug. Peter hates this big jug. I've got this big jug. I don't even know how many ounces it is, but I fill it up every single day. I bring it back and forth to the office. I think he hates it because if it's ever in his car, it rolls around and bangs around his car. But I bring water with me. I bring water with me to the office or wherever I go. So I've just gotten used to drinking that. I feel way better when I drink it. Way more hydrated. And what's amazing is when you start drinking well-filtered water, you'll notice the taste difference. It really does make a difference. So that's a big one to make sure you're looking at. So toxins in your food, keeping this things moving. Again, you are eating a lot throughout the day, right? This is something that we're constantly doing. So looking at your food supply, and the amount of toxins and chemicals getting in your body as a result of that. Some of the big hitters here, MSG. It increases your risk of nerve damage and heart issues. Aspartame, it's an artificial sweetener. If you aren't drinking diet soda, maybe you're chewing gum. Chewing gum has aspartame or artificial sweeteners in it. That's why I buy the Spry brand of gum. But artificial aspartame, it is potentially carcinogenic. It can contribute to things like headaches, digestive issues, and really affects the function of your brain. Nitrates, that's what you're going to find in a lot of processed meats. Also, that's linked to cancer. Artificial colorings and dyes. That's linked to hyperactivity in children, cancer, and more. Refined oils, genetically modified foods, and a big, big, big one here is pesticides. Many of you that are practice members, the goal is to eat real food versus processed food. That's going to cut out the chemicals. If you can't read it, don't eat it. Try to just be eating more real foods like fruits, vegetables, meats, good fats. But the problem with even those foods, if we're taking this next level, is that a lot of them are greenhouse grown, or they are grown in mineral depleted soil. So that significantly reduces the amount of nutrients in the food that we're eating today. The nutrient density and even whole foods that we're consuming a day is far less. Like if, they've looked at this, the amount of nutrients in a head of broccoli today, even if it's organic, compared to 50 years ago is like a night and day difference with the nutrient density and antioxidants and enzymes and minerals that you're getting in our food supply today. When you think about it, it's the nutrient depletion, the pesticides, the herbicides, and things that are sprayed on all of these crops. It also affects the nutrient composition of the soil. So, regenerative farming practices is becoming more and more common. It really goes beyond just organic, but it really focuses on actually increasing the nutrient density of the soil, which in turn increases the nutrient density in your food. So for years, personally, I was like, I eat a good diet. Why would I ever need to take supplements? I'm getting what I need, from my diet. But the more that I learned about the nutrient depletion of our food supply today, we are not getting nearly the amount of vitamins and minerals and enzymes that we should be, even if we're eating a good diet. So that brings us to another topic of, are your supplements toxic? Are your supplements toxic? And this is something that kills me. For years, I'd be telling patients, you need to be taking vitamin D3. This is even before we had our own line of supplements in the clinic. And they would come back and they would show me the vitamin D that they found at wherever. And I would be like, let's read the ingredients. And there would be red number 40, right in something that they're taking for their health, or many protein powders, what to look for. Many protein powders will have artificial sweeteners, fillers, a lot of pharmaceutical companies, because the supplement industry has become far more prevalent and far more popular, because people are realizing, wait, I'd rather build my health than be on a medication. Pharmaceutical companies have taken on to this. Recognize that there's a large market. So a lot of pharmaceutical companies are producing supplements that you can find at many stores. However, they're synthetically made. A lot of them have synthetic fillers, and they're not bioavailable. Your body actually isn't absorbing them. So I always tell people the best supplement is one that your body is actually absorbing, not just one that you're taking because it sounds like a good idea and it's making you think that you're taking something good. So things to look out for. Again, you're always wanting to read the ingredients of things that you're putting in your body. So reading the ingredients of your supplements, you'll find the list of all of the, vitamins and things that are in there. But at the bottom, there's always other ingredients. So things that you want to look out for, you want to look for sucralose. That is very similar to aspartame. It's an artificial sweetener. You will find that especially if you're taking anything that's chewable. Kids' vitamins, tough area. Any of the gummies, they're going to, any of the bright, flavored gummies, they're going to have artificial dyes. They're going to have sweeteners, whether it's sugar itself or whether it's sucralose. So those are some of the ones that you want to watch out for. Saccharin is another one that you want to look for. Really, if you're taking a supplement, you want to make sure that it's coming from a trusted company. You really want to take supplements that are closest to their natural form as possible. So things that are very highly bioavailable or absorbable in your body, those are really important things. So when it comes to supplements, you've really got to find a brand that you trust, that you know the background of, and that isn't using synthetic ingredients if it's something that you want to be taking on a daily basis. And, unfortunately, a lot of times that can be very hard to find actually on the label or anything like that itself. This is one of the reasons that, Max Living we have sourced out our own source of supplements and our own formulations to make sure, we can't be recommending, hey, you should take this, this, and this, and then you go find a source somewhere that's loaded with artificial things and it's synthetic and your body isn't even, benefiting from it in the first place. So ours are formulated with the utmost care. They're all produced in the US. So we have control over the standards, and we know just how they're being formulated, how they're being processed, how they're being put together. Some important certifications that you want to find with your supplements that Max Living products all follow is they're GMP certified, they're FDA registered, they're NSF certified, which is important too. They're GMO free. That's an important thing to be looking for. Ours are also 100% gluten free, and they're whole food supplements, which means that they're as close to the natural thing as possible to really give your body a supplement your body's gonna be able to break down. It's bioavailable, and your body's gonna be able to absorb it. So specifically when it comes to toxicity, a couple things that I highly, highly recommend that you work into your regimen right now. First and foremost, max greens. This one, it comes in a powder, which tastes really good if you add it to a smoothie or to yogurt, is really handy. Or it also now comes in capsules. So if you aren't a smoothie drinker, you don't know what to mix the Max Greens powder with, you can just take it in capsules. But this is one, when it comes to toxicity, our body uses antioxidants, it uses minerals, it uses these things to heal damaged cells and to help your body detoxify from exposure to chemicals. Most people are super, super, super deficient in a lot of the vitamins and minerals that we would get from eating different vegetables and health foods. So the Max Greens has a variety of different vitamins, minerals, enzymes that you will get from eating a variety of different foods that most people aren't getting. And if you are eating a lot of green foods, again, there's a nutrient depletion that's happening. So I highly recommend taking the Max Greens as just a typical routine and regimen to make sure that your body's getting the proper antioxidants on a daily basis. So right now, because of the Spring Clean Workshop, you can pick those up on our website, or you can pick them up in the office. If you mention that you watch the Spring Clean Workshop, we will give you 10% off of the Max Greens right now. The big one that I really want to highlight is the detox system. If you've never done a detox before, so this is part of, okay, we're minimizing our exposure, you're changing out some of your products, you're reducing your exposure to toxins. Number two, we've got to get your body detoxifying from the inside out. Most people, our liver is sluggish. Our antioxidants are depleted, and there's a very powerful antioxidant called glutathione in the body. So what happens when chemicals get into your body stores them in your fat cells to protect you so they don't get circulated throughout the rest of your system. This is what leads to a lot of weight loss resistance. If you've been trying to lose weight and you can't lose that 5 pounds around your gut, or you're not, you're changing your diet and you're not successful, weight loss resistance is a sign of toxicity. So, if you want to flush out your body from the toxins, if you want to help to empty your bucket, first, shut off the hose. Second, we've got to empty the bucket that has been building up for years. That is exactly what the detox system does. It's a 2-part system that you basically, the cell detox has all of the precursors that helps to boost glutathione and antioxidants in your cells so that your body binds to those toxins, gets it into your gut. And then the second part, the body detox, has milk thistle, dandelion, activated charcoal, and carbon that helps to bind to those toxins to flush it out of your digestive system so it doesn't get reabsorbed into your body. So one box, it's a month supply. I usually recommend people that haven't done it before to do it for 3 months in a row to get a good flush out from your body. I do it quarterly. I quarterly do the detox. Some patients that we have that, are hairdressers, or they, are constantly working around chemicals, they stay on this all the time. So if the chemicals are coming in, at least they're continually working to make sure that they're getting flushed out. The detox system really helps with that. So this is very different than, drinking, lemon water and having diarrhea for a week. That's not what this is. A lot of detoxes out there, they basically just flush out your gut. This is addressing toxicity at a cell level. That's what makes this so different. And you won't notice any crazy side effects or symptoms from it. The only thing that some people notice is maybe a bit of constipation, and that's a warning sign that they just aren't drinking enough water. So when you do the detox, it's important to be focusing on eating a healthy diet and drinking lots and lots of water, healthy filtered water if possible, to be flushing out those toxins. So again, that's 10% off in the clinic over the next week if you just mentioned that you watched the Spring Clean Workshop. Ultimately, health is about function. It's not just about how you feel. And this is why taking action steps with detox is so important, because you often don't feel the effects of it until it's a major, big problem. So, doing the detox, taking some action steps from what we covered, even more importantly, when you look at, again, I've mentioned a couple times, your body's designed to detoxify. So we want to look at, if we want to be functioning well, it is so important to be looking at what actually controls all function in the body and what controls your liver, what is telling old cells to be replaced with healthy new cells. Many of you that are practice members understand and know that it is your brain through your nervous system. So your brain sends signals down your spinal cord, out your nerves, to your heart, to your lungs, to your immune system, to your digestive system, to your liver, to your kidneys. And that system is constantly sensing, what are you being exposed to? What's going on? What do we need to do more of? What do we need to do less of to help your body continue to function and heal at its best? That's the importance of taking care of the health of your spine, of having good posture, and ultimately making sure there's nothing interfering with the signals from your brain to get to your body. These are all warning signs, headaches, depression, numbness, tingling, brain fog, constipation, allergies, food intolerances, acid reflux. These are all warning signs that your body may not only be toxic, but that your body isn't functioning at its best. So if that's you, if you're on here, if you're a guest, if this is the first time that you're hearing this, when it comes to detoxification, your most important action step would be making sure that your brain is communicating back and forth to your body properly. And the way that we do that is by looking at the health of your spine, by looking at your posture, ultimately taking x-rays. And so if that's you, if you're a guest here, your first action step to detox is to go to our website, www.maxlivingtonka.com. And right up at the top corner, you can schedule a free consult. Schedule a free consult. I would love to meet with you, whether it's walking through how do we continue to detoxify your body, also looking at just your overall health and what areas of the 5 essentials that we can help you with most, ultimately getting some x-rays taken to see, just where your health and function is at internally right now as well. So if you're a guest, make sure to visit our website to schedule that free consult. For the rest of you, we have got a 30 days of detox tips coming your way. So I'm super excited about this. On a daily basis over the next 30 days, you will get an email that will give you specific tips. It will identify specific products, what's harmful to them, and most importantly, give you action steps of what you can replace those with in all different areas, whether it's water filtration, whether it is cleaning products, personal care products, foods and beverages. We're going to give you a tip every single day for the next 30 days. To get signed up for that, all you have to do is text our office number, 952-229-8750. Grab out your phone, type that in right now, text us 30 detox. And when you do that, you will start to receive the 30 days of tips to help you continue this journey, continue to learn what you can do to continue minimizing toxins in your life. So 952-229-8750, make sure to text us 30 detox, and that will get you signed in and logged in to receive those tips. Lastly, upcoming events, we have our Patient Appreciation Day next Wednesday. It is going to be from 3 to 6 in the evening. If you normally don't come into the office on Wednesdays, you want to call in, go on your scheduling app, reschedule your appointment so that you're coming in next Wednesday from 3 to 6. It's going to be a super fun day in the office. We have got some different vendors coming in that are great sources of healthier products that you can check out and learn more about and even pick up that day. We also are going to have some healthy detox green juice for you to try, and a regimen laid out as another way of really blasting your body with more nutrients and enzymes and vital nutrients to help detoxify your cells. We're going to have different handouts for you with homemade recipes of how do you make some healthy homemade cleaners. We're even going to have some make and takes that you can actually make with essential oils and different cleaners. I think we're going to do, don't quote me, but I think we're going to do the healthy wood cleaner that you're going to be able to make with some essential oils and really walk away with that day. So make sure that you arrange it to come and join us for our Patient Appreciation Day to really plug into some of these resources as well. So last reminder, I know this is a journey. I hope you aren't overwhelmed, but just start taking small action steps in these areas. And I promise you, you will thank yourself for it as you grow old, as you get, gain healthy age, and you're energetic and you feel good, and you can continue to live the life that you want. So thanks for joining us. Really hope that you enjoyed this and that this brought some good light to the area of detox. And make sure to plug in the clinic over the next week as well. Have a great evening.